the thing about food that people don't realize, when I was a kid, it was like, all right, we're gonna have some like French toast, some Lucky Charms, maybe even like a little hot chocolate or something like,
Yeah.
and some fruit and like a fruit cup, and like maybe granola bar or something. So and I thought as a kid or like growing up, I was like, well, breakfast is so important. Like you got to have a lot of food, but the issue is that like when you have food, your body's attention goes to the food. So if you want to like be super dialed in, especially in the morning to like create or to do anything like with high intensity and like be very focused, actually having that food is going to like slow down your brain. Literally, the blood from your system goes more into your gut to deal with the food, and it actually goes out of your brain more so.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Creative Struggle Podcast. I'm your host, Luke Flex. Today I have with me Alex Acosta. Sorry,
Alex, I'm actually Nick. It's okay. We can go with it. We can run with it.
Alex, bro, I don't know why I had Alex in my head.
It's okay. It's actually hilarious. Let's say we keep going with this recording. This is hilarious.
Oh man, okay, well we'll keep rolling.
Alex Costa is actually he's a YouTuber. There is an Alex Costa who's actually like a famous YouTuber. You can look him up. He does lifestyle.
Bro, I don't even know why Alex popped in my head. But now you know his name is not Alex. It is Nick Acosta. Nick, tell the people a little bit of who you are.
I'm Nick Acosta. I run a cinema company. My business is Acosta Cinema, but I film mainly weddings and do music videos, and then I do some corporate work. And so I'm a cinematographer.
So what is biohacking? What are we going to talk about?
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about this crazy concept about biohacking. So essentially, it's like hacking your own biology and making you better, just as an entrepreneur, a creator, and a performer. So ways to kind of like hack your biology through like nutrition, through like workouts, through different modalities to make you just a better performer in general. So,
and from a biblical perspective, like how does this all tie in? You being a Christian, I'm a Christian as well, and most of our audiences as well. How does that all tie in with biohacking?
Yeah, I think like, God wants the best that we possibly can with the means that we have. So some of the things I'm going to get into are kind of edgy, like kind of out there. I'm going to touch on everything from like like different nutritional things to workouts, like I said, but I even found a way to hack hack hair loss. So all these things are like just ways to make the best out of the cards you've been given. And I think that lines up with scripture. Our body's a temple of the Holy Spirit, and so these are ways to like facilitate that to just be our best selves, but also to augment what we've been given from God and to serve Him to the best of our ability through that. So.
In your cinema company, since doing biohacking, have you seen your productivity and your overall attitude like change at all, or how's that been?
Dude, for sure. So like so many entrepreneurs kind of struggle with like, okay, how do I like on a given day get motivated? Like, how do I like just get driven to do the work? And so like we're going to touch later into like every single thing that I do. But if you like kind of stack these different things, these different like supplements and habits, like you will be like lights out. I mean, so when I started doing my company like years ago, I did struggle with like the drive and like the discipline even. So when you stack these different things in combination, it helps you as an entrepreneur to just be like on your game, be driven. And so like these things have helped me like a ton to just stay like not only be driven, but also disciplined as well. So yeah.
And growing up, talk a little bit about like the mental health change that happened during kind of your early years.
Yeah, for sure. So like I would say like since I was probably in like middle school or high school, like I definitely kind of struggle with some depression. And a lot of that kind of happened through like, so I was homeschooled a little bit, but like before that I was in some different schools. My parents, I was kind of like the guinea pig as the firstborn, and so my parents were like, okay, what do we do with him? Like, do we put him in like public school? Do we do private school? Do we do homeschool? Right. So kind of what had happened is my parents would put me in like a private school. I'd make friends with all the kids and like I love the school. And then they'd pull me out and homeschool me. I got nothing against homeschooling at all, but like through that, I kind of noticed that my moods would like fluctuate a lot. So like obviously being home, there's less there's nobody to talk, you know, you're just isolated in your room, like alone. Like that's what homeschooling is. Like my parents threw me food, like, no, I'm just kidding. Like, but like they're, you know, like the
Careful now.
social,
Some people are gonna think you're serious
I
on
know,
this.
like homeschooling is like prison. Like no, it wasn't that bad. I made a lot of good friends like through homeschooling, obviously, but like it was that transition of like having friends somewhere and then leaving them behind that caused the depression. So even as like a I would say like a fifth and sixth grader, like moving from like a private school to homeschool, some depression kind of kicked in. And yeah, so just to talk more on that, like I noticed what was pretty weird is like there were days where I just like run around the house and like work out, and I noticed that my
Mm,
mood would improve. So even there, I started to notice that if I did different strategies, like I could get better. But things kind of like resurfaced in high school with depression. So my parents put me in a school called Wheaton Academy, and awesome school, like really good school for the most part. But what had happened is I actually, if we rewind back, this is kind of a crazy story, but when I was a little kid, like 7 years old, I was actually at a wedding, and I was like right by one of the loudspeakers, and my ear was like right by it, and I remember like
mm.
this pain in my head. And so what had happened is like a sound wave or like a sound boom, whatever came from the speaker, it actually like damaged my inner ear like very
Wow.
profoundly. And so that night I had a constant noise in my head. They call it tinnitus,
Mm.
but it's very rare for like kids. It's more common for like, you know, people in the military around like a lot of like guns and like the shot blast and like those things can trigger it too.
Yeah.
But very rare for a kid to like get this. So like, yeah, as a kid, that kind of like that fueled like insomnia and some depression as a kid. But then in high school, there was this kind of like surgery that I tried out, and you can see like there's a scar that I still have. But basically, I
Mm.
don't know if you can see it too well on the
Yeah,
camera,
no, I can
but
see
like
it there. Yeah.
they
Yeah.
cut into my head, like literally cut into my head,
Wow.
and they like tried to drain fluid out, but it made it
Mm.
worse. It was like a very like risky surgery. I was desperate.
Yeah.
And so like at school, I could not focus. I was like trying to be in class and like listen to what teachers were saying. I couldn't even like my equilibrium was off because your ears kind of keep track of that. So I went to my parents and said, you know what, guys, like I'm really depressed. I actually broke my pinky. There's a screw in here during football practice. So like,
Do you still have it in there?
yeah, there's still screws in here.
Oh, wow.
You can see it's kind of bent.
Mm.
But that happened during football, and so I was off the football team. I was trying to make friends. I just had a lot going on. And my parents decided to take me to see a psychiatrist. And he put me on this antidepressant called well, I could just disclose what it was called. It's called Lexapro, just an antidepressant drug. Um, and the crazy thing is, after a few weeks of being on that, like my brain kind of spiraled into something called mania,
Mm.
which is like my brain like would not rest. It would just kind of like keep having creative ideas and like not slow down. Um, and so then after that, the doctors said that I was bipolar because of this,
Mm.
which is pretty crazy. So yeah, so that's kind of like the trajectory like through high school of like getting like a mental health diagnosis.
And how long were you on medication before you kind of made the switch, or was it off and
Yeah,
on, or?
yeah, man. I mean, so what had happened, and this is interesting. So when I was on Lexapro or this antidepressant, that's what caused the doctors to say like, oh, like you became manic, like you weren't sleeping, you were
Mm.
having issues. But then after that, they diagnosed me as bipolar. So like with that diagnosis, it was like, okay, not only do you need like
Yeah.
maybe an antidepressant, but now you need mood stabilizers and like a lot of crap. And so literally, Luke, for like 4 to 5 months, I would say maybe like 4 months or give or take, like maybe a little less than that. But the doctors had me on all these different drugs. And
Mm.
at school, I'd be trying to pay attention, and I'd just be like a zombie. I'd be like just so drugged out at school.
Yeah.
And then after that span of time, the doctors were like, well, let's just like take you off of all medication again. And then I was fine for like a really long time after that, like 7, 8 years without any kind of like
Wow.
psychiatric intervention. Yeah. So it just goes to show like how interesting
Mm.
the I don't know, just like doctors that like the whole psychiatric thing can be. And
Yeah, it seems like I was just listening to another podcast and they were talking about, like, I
yeah,
think America consumes is like 70 or and 90% of all like kind of
Yeah.
like heavy medication. And
Right. Right.
it's interesting, right? That's like our first go-to. It's like, oh, you struggle with anxiety? Well, let's check a bunch of pills.
Hey, let's just take right. It's like being sick. It's like I'm sick with anxiety, doctor. Like I'm just so anxious. Like, oh, here we'll address the symptom with the pill. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, and there is a side of it. There are definitely people I know in my
Yes.
life who like
Yeah.
they are on the really far side and they do need that medication, but they don't need a
Right.
long term, right?
No.
You're
Yeah.
not
It's
supposed to
it's
be on
it's a
this long
band-aid.
term.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, just a short period. And like I think about it with my shoulder, right? Like
Yeah.
I tore my labrum
Mm,
and a couple of people were talking. They were like, yeah, maybe you'd get surgery. And I was, I don't know, 18 or 19. And I was
yeah.
like, no, I'm not getting surgery at 18 or 19 years old. I'm like, that goes straight downhill. There's no way I'm doing that. So
Right.
I found a PT who was like, oh yeah, dude, don't don't get surgery. Go get an MRI. I'm going to take a look
Yeah.
at it and we're going to get you back on your feet in 3 to 6
Totally.
months, you know, as long as you're consistent with the exercises.
Right.
And I think with a lot of these different, with anxiety, which we all struggle with to a certain extent,
Yeah.
there are different ways to treat it. And
Totally.
what specifically, have there any supplements that you currently take that have helped with
Yeah.
your anxiety and depression?
Yeah, so we can get into all of that. But I would just say like if you need to be on psychiatric meds for any period of time, like go
Yeah.
for it. And like
Yeah.
we have a lot of good technology. The problem that I think that you were like getting into with like and I can get into something that I'm currently taking
Yeah. Go ahead.
in a low dose, but so I take lithium, a little bit of lithium, and then I take just something for sleep. It's called Seroquel, and it's just like a little it's actually at a dose where it's like such a low dose of it to where it just acts as like a sleep aid, like a Benadryl.
Mm,
And I just take a little bit of that for sleep, and then I take lithium, which is like a salt. And so basically, like in the springtime, and I only take this for like little periods of time where my biology is getting a little bit, it just needs to be managed a little bit better. Like
yeah.
I have been diagnosed as bipolar, but like a part of that can be like my brain kind of getting too creative and too
Yeah.
almost like too happy. I'd say like it's like a level of happiness where it's like too much. I'm like literally like just like so like excited about life, but like it needs to be reeled in a little bit. And so
Mm,
sometimes this salt, it's on the periodic table. It's called lithium, and it's interesting because it kind of just reels in like those expansive thoughts a little bit and kind of slows the brain down just naturally. But actually, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that take lithium as like a supplement to keep them like more emotionally grounded as they're like
mm,
working. Tim Ferriss, one of my favorite podcasters, and like a really well-known entrepreneur. Like he has like LeBron James on his podcast and stuff. Like he's like really up there, but he takes lithium to just keep his brain like a little more like within a range of emotional stability, or
yeah.
he supplements. So I take that. But I can get into like, I'm sure in a little bit here, like everything else that I take, but like, um, yeah, I would say like if you have been diagnosed as like, bipolar, or you've been diagnosed
Mm,
with depression or anxiety, like don't be afraid to use like medication as like a band-aid for periods of time, because it is like a
yeah.
crutch that kind of helps you do the other things that I'll talk about. Like it also gives you like the willpower and like the stability to even like do these different things. But it's not something you need to be on like indefinitely. I'm not going to be on this indefinitely. And sometimes I just need like a little help, like we all do. I mean, our brain's an organ and it can get out of whack. So,
Yeah. Well, why don't we jump right into your daily routine? Why don't we go through that? Because I feel
okay.
like that's the type of
Yeah.
thing.
But yeah. So just to preface, like, so I do all these things, Luke, to just be my best self. I mean, I
Yeah.
love to like, for example, like on wedding days, like I love to just be like super high energy, like
Hmm.
on my game, just like present with people. And then I well to kind of get into like why I do these things too, or how I got into it. There was a period of time when I was doing my videography, or getting my videography job started, where I was actually running dogs for people, and I was listening to different podcasts while I
Mm,
ran people's dogs as like a job to get money for camera gear. And so this guy, his name is Ben Greenfield Fitness. That's the
yeah.
podcast, Ben Greenfield. And so a lot of these different things he's recommended. But other good podcasters are like Dave Asprey. He's like, I think it's called the Human Performance Upgrade. It's his podcast. And then so I like all these different things I'm going to discuss. I learned like through podcasts, and then I would try them out and see if they could help me be a better performer. So we can get into like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Walk through.
everything
I
that I
mean, if you
do.
want to go through the daily routine
Yeah,
first,
yeah.
or if you want to talk about what supplements have works
Oh,
and what
yeah.
don't.
So
Yeah.
we can go through my routine, and then like as we go through it, I can discuss the different supplements and like why they work and
Yeah.
everything. Okay, so here's what I do on a usual day. All the crazy things that I do. So I mean, I start out the day. It's nothing too crazy. I actually do a run first thing, just to get like my metabolism revved up, to get my brain like just like starting to get out the cobwebs. So I do like a mile and a half run in the morning. I'll just put on some music, do that first thing. I feel like it kind of just like wakes me up, of course, and like it's just good to do some cardio.
Yeah. Is that
Right
like
after,
straight out of bed? You're rolling
yes,
out of bed.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I literally just put on workout clothes and I just go with music.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Cause like you can feel
Yeah,
that grogginess and you have a little bit of like time to warm up as you're walking and then you
exactly.
start running. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like if you do other things, like it's easy to put that off.
Mm,
So if you just kind of get that cardio done first thing, like it just kind of like wakes you up, and then you're not thinking about it later.
yeah.
And I listen to like just some like it's typically hip hop or like old school hip hop, or like some like EDM or something
Yeah.
that's like upbeat, or like, putting me in that good frame of mind. And then from there I can actually show you this device that I use. Now this thing actually, I heard about it on a podcast, and I think it was Ben Greenfield, but basically it replicates the sun.
Mm,
So like your body like actually needs like the sun, like your body responds really well to red light, and like the sun's like the sunrise.
yeah.
So I can show you this device that I have. It's called the Juve Light,
Yeah.
and it's this big panel. It looks like I don't even know what this thing looks like, but here it is right here.
Oh, nice. Are those
And
are
it's,
all the
it's
circular little LEDs or
LEDs. Yeah, I'm gonna
okay.
try to see if I can turn it on. This outlet might not work over here. Let me see if it actually turns on here. But
Yeah.
oh, here we go. Here we go. I think it's gonna work here. So it's red in your infrared light, and
Ah, okay.
and I will stand in front of this thing in the morning for about 10 to 15 minutes while I meditate. And I
Mm,
can tell you like how I meditate, but like this thing, it's JJOOVV. It's a Juve light,
hmm.
and it's been shown to increase testosterone levels in men. It's been shown to like help with melatonin production at night, because your body receives a signal of the sunrise in the morning. So it's very cool. Highly recommend it. So while I do that, I meditate. I use an app called Headspace to meditate. I don't know if you're familiar with Headspace or
Yeah, I've seen the ads everywhere.
yeah, and it's just mindfulness meditation. So like,
Yeah.
mindfulness is just kind of getting out of your head and into your body.
Mm,
So like, it's pretty much the same meditation every day. The voice, it's got this guy's got like an Australian like accent or something. Maybe it's English. I don't know. Or I don't know accents.
yeah.
It's got a great accent, and he's just like, all right, so like now focus just on the way it feels to like have the air in your belly, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but like, and then he's like, okay, focus on your the way that your feet feel hitting the ground.
Mm,
What I've seen is that when I do this like consistently, I am more out of my head and I'm more present with people. And
mm.
that's such a big thing, because like, being a performer, or like being at a wedding day, or even at a coffee shop networking, like I want to be present with people. And so like, it's pretty crazy. Have you ever tried meditating at all? Like,
I think I've tried it a few times where I'm just kind of sitting down, no music, no nothing, just being
yeah,
still.
right,
And it is
right.
really helpful. Like, especially like if I've just read the word and now I'm sitting
Yes,
down and taking time to like before I go and pray or journal, just taking the extra time. Like there's
yeah,
a lot of peace in meditating on the
yeah,
word and then just being still. Because a
exactly.
lot
Just
of
still
times what we
going.
tend to
Yeah, yeah,
do is we
right.
don't like confront the different thoughts we have, right? We're constantly listening to music and
Yeah.
entertainment. We're on our phones. And what we're doing is we're not allowing our brain to actually
Yeah.
process things, and we're just cramming and cramming it. And so
Totally.
that's why I think that's why people can tend to get anxiety, or at least low levels of it, is
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
not being able to confront
Yeah.
and hear their own thoughts and be able to understand what
Right.
is objective truth, what are lies, what are truths, and what are the
Yeah.
ones that I can say,
Well,
no, these are bad.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And what it does too is it almost like, imagine your mind is having like all these different thoughts in the morning about like, I got to do this project, and I need to like be on time for this meeting. And I've got this like appointment later. And so your brain's actually stressing out,
Mm,
and it's using more chemicals than it needs to. And it's
yeah.
actually producing cortisol, which is the stress hormone. So what meditation teaches your brain to do is be like, okay, I'm present right now. Okay, let's get to those thoughts later. We're gonna do this first, and then we're gonna
Yeah.
pray and journal. So and actually it helps with stress, it helps with focus, and like it's like going to the gym and doing a workout. Like the more that you do Headspace, in my opinion, like Headspace is amazing. The
You
more
sponsored
like,
by them or something, or
yeah, I'm sponsored by Headspace.
I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah,
No, no.
yeah. Yeah. Oh man. So anyways, like doing it consistently, like it's like a workout, and then
Mm,
eventually your brain is like, your stress levels go down, and then you're just more present with people, and you're present with your
yeah.
projects, and your brain is literally not trying to like go to the next meeting while you're doing something else. Like if I'm editing, I'm
Mm.
editing. If I'm talking with somebody, I'm talking with them, and I'm just like with them.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that's the greatest way for us as Christians to always feel this anxiety, is like always be looking towards the next thing.
Yeah,
And we're,
like
and we're not
the
present.
future. Yeah,
And the
right,
reason,
right.
yeah, and I think the reason we're kind of looking forward to
Yeah,
things is we tend to forget, like we think that, I don't know, maybe the next thing's going to be a little bit better, and so we kind of forget to like
right.
just just be present in the moment. Have you found
Yeah,
different ways to be present in the moment, other than are there any things like you'll
yeah,
catch yourself, right? You're hanging out with your
yeah,
family and you
right.
start wondering, okay, what's the next clip I got to edit, or whatever it is. Like what are
Totally.
things you tell yourself to kind of bring you back in?
I mean, that's interesting. Yeah. Sometimes what I actually do is like when I'm editing, for example, I'll actually like go for a little walk or something, just to like do something physical and like do some deep breathing to bring myself back.
Yeah.
Um, but what happens with when you do meditation enough is you will literally like be doing a task like editing, or you're with your family, and your brain will start to like go down that track of like, hey, that
Mm,
meeting's coming up, or that date's coming up or something. And then it's like, and then your brain literally will recalibrate and be like, through meditation, it's like, oh, I'm back. Like it does it subconsciously, like you're not even like
mm,
consciously doing it, but it gives you that power to like when I was a kid, I was never taught that like my brain was able to do that. So I kind of became a victim of my thoughts and was like, well, I can't control my brain. I mean, my brain just like focuses on like this topic or this topic. And like, the Lord talks about like, I think it's like if you have like bitterness in your heart towards your brother or something. So it's like if you ever are catching your brain have like, or your thoughts like go towards like bitterness towards your brother, or like lust or whatever, what have you.
yeah.
Meditation teaches you, hey, well, let's come back, let's pray, even let's pray or something, let's get off of that topic, and let's just get back to work, or back to the meeting or whatever, or the Zoom call with Luke Flex here.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's the greatest way to always feel
Yeah,
anxious, is to look towards the next thing.
yeah.
Um,
So yeah.
yeah. I had a thought
Also,
on that. I was trying to remember
yeah,
what I
yeah,
wanted
no,
to
it's
say
okay.
on it.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
CS Lewis talks about this in his man, I'm blanking out on the name of it, but it's the book
It's
where
quick.
it's um there's a demon who's telling his nephew like how to
Oh, the
basically
screw tape letters.
screw
Yeah,
tape letters. That's right.
yeah.
It's like he's telling his nephew how to like enslave and how to always keep Christians anxious. And he says,
Yeah.
tell them to think about the future and have them always think about the next thing.
Ooh,
Have them think about the
ooh,
next thing. And because
right.
yeah, we'll never be present if we're thinking about what's happening
Exactly.
next versus what's going on
And I
now.
think joy is found in the present moment. Like joy is
Mm,
found like even in like the mundane, like day to day things that we do. But if you can like make yourself enjoy those things, it's better. So to kind of move past meditation, after that, I usually I try to read some scripture, and then I'll pray out loud usually. I usually pray for like certain people or things I need to do during that day, and just ask for God's blessing on things I need to do. I've actually got a little whiteboard, and I like write out specific goals for each day, and I'll pray over those goals that I write. So that's after meditation.
Yeah. Well, let's circle back. I derailed this a little bit, but let's circle back to the
Okay.
daily routine. So you get up, you
Yeah.
go for your
Yeah.
mile
This
and
is
a half
actually
run.
this is still part of the routine. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
you run,
So
then you
yes.
meditate.
Yes.
And how long is that? Is that 30 minutes? Is that 10
meditation?
minutes?
No, meditation's only like Headspace is like 10 minutes only.
Okay. Yeah.
While I'm doing the red light therapy. So I run, which is like gosh, like 8-9 minutes or something, like it's not long. And then I jump into the red light and meditation, and then I do prayer and journaling out, and I pray out loud. So like all of that combined is only like probably like a half hour or something.
Yeah.
Okay. So after that, I take my first supplement, which is called Qualia Mind. This is what it looks like. This is the stack of stuff. So I mean, this actually, so Ben Greenfield calls this stuff the God pill, like the movie Limitless, where he takes like a drug and his brain goes like whoa, like it like opens up and like
Yeah.
so. But this stuff is actually amazing. One of my good friends, Blake Glosson, who you probably know, I got him hooked on this. I've got other guys that have taken it, and they're like, wow, it does turn on your brain to like just be on it. And I'll take this before a wedding, and like it gives me consistent energy for like really long periods of time. So it's Qualia Mind. It's got a lot of different crazy ingredients. It has something called alpha GPC, which helps with focus. It's got it has this type of caffeine that like is a slow release caffeine during the day, and it's about a half cup of coffee that's like slowly released like every like I don't know, like hour or so. But so you're not going to get like this big like euphoria like with coffee where you get up and then you crash. This is just kind of like a nice steady like energy for like 7-8 hours. So it's really cool stuff. I highly recommend it.
What's inside of it?
So like what are other ingredients too?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, there's like literally looking at this thing, there's like 40 ingredients. I mean, it's got vitamin C, vitamin D, thiamine, niacin, vitamin B12, then it's got L-carnitine, artichoke leaf extract, like L-theanine to help you kind of calm down. So it's called a nootropic. So a nootropic kind of replicates what almost like, have you ever heard of like smart drugs like modafinil or like these are like things. Okay, so there's things called smart drugs that some people like on the mainly like in the tech space, like on the West Coast, might tend to take
right
to get like an extra edge, like performance, to focus. But this stuff is natural. It's a bunch of like natural like vitamins and like different ingredients that like replicate what something like modafinil might do for the brain, which is like a synthetic smart drug. So if you want to be like that guy on Limitless, where you just take something in your brain goes, I'm on it. But it is very effective. And like, but here's the thing. In order for that to be effective, you have to cut out like a lot of drinking at night. You have to cut out like a heavy breakfast. You have to cut out like if you're stacking in these things that I'm going to talk about, you can feel it more. This is not a substitute. This can't work if you have a lot of bad health habits. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Those bad health habits will overwhelm and wash out any kind of effect that like something like Qualia Mind would have.
Yeah, it's like having a nice steak dinner and then eating like a box of donuts afterwards, or having like a big salad and then being like, all right, I'm gonna down, a bunch of ice cream.
It's like, yeah, like how good, like that steak and the salad is gonna make you feel really good and like a little relaxed.
Yeah.
All those donuts, you're gonna feel like just like, oh, like just sit. Like,
yeah.
So like yeah, like exactly. Yeah, well said. Yeah, and so I take that and then I actually dial into work. So I usually I'll check my emails first thing for like about half an hour or something. Just respond to emails, and then I dial into editing. So like today I actually went to a coffee shop and I edited for a few hours, just on Qualia without any food.
Yeah.
So,
Do you take qualia every single day, or is it just Monday through
I
Friday?
take it, yeah. So right now I'm a little backed up. So I'm taking it almost every day just because I have it available. But I usually take it like I usually take 2 days off per week.
Gotcha.
Not every day.
Yeah, that's probably a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. And again, like it's not like this is like you got to do other things too. This is not just
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
you, but when you have it fasted, because you don't have any food, it's using that as the main source of fuel. And
Mm,
so I found if I have that with a little bit of coffee too, like I went to a coffee shop, I did have some coffee as well. It gives you like a lot of good energy, like clean energy to like edit or
mm,
to do anything creative in the morning.
gotcha. So all
Yeah.
right. So now we're what time are we? Maybe we're 11 o'clock or so. You've,
Yeah,
done a
yeah.
few things. Then like
So
what does that
right.
midday look like?
Yeah, so midday, what I've been doing recently is I actually just have like a lunch of some kind. So I try to break my fast at around like noon. And so today I'm probably gonna have like some eggs and a protein shake, some nuts. I find that a lot of like healthy fats, it's very satiating, it's very filling.
Yeah.
The calorie content is relatively low. So like the thing about food that people don't realize, when I was a kid, it was like, all right, we're gonna have some like French toast, some Lucky Charms, some milk. Well, obviously with the Lucky Charms, like maybe even like a little hot chocolate or something, like
Yeah. Yep.
and some fruit and like a fruit cup and like maybe granola bar or something. So like and I thought as a kid or like growing up, I was like, well, breakfast is so important. Like you got to have a lot of food. But the
Mm,
issue is that like when you have food, your body's attention goes to the food.
mm,
So right. So if you want to like be super dialed in, especially in the morning to like create or to do anything like with high intensity and like be very focused, actually having that food is going to like slow down your brain. Literally the blood from your system goes more into your gut to deal with the food, and it actually goes out of your brain more so.
right.
That's
That's why you get a
pretty
food
tired.
coma, right? After
Yes.
Thanksgiving, when you just eat
Yes.
two platefuls
Yeah.
and then everyone goes, and lays on the couch or the
I
floor.
know.
It's because all the blood flow is going
Yeah.
straight to the stomach.
Oh, but dude, on like a Sunday afternoon, like going out to like brunch and
Yeah.
like just like going home and like having a fat nap, like there's something so nice about that though.
That's true. That's true.
Like once in a while, like just to binge out like and nap, it's so glorious. But so like my lunch is typically something like pretty low calorie, but like lots of protein and lots of fat content. Maybe not, no, maybe like probably usually no carbs, like maybe
Mm,
some toast or like avocado toast or something, but like I try to keep it like pretty light for lunch, but still have a lot of protein for my lunch. And by the way, this is after I've done like my hard work for the day. So I've already gotten like most of my hard editing done and I've gotten my emails done. So I'm like done
mm,
with a lot of my work by noon or like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I have my food.
dang.
Yeah.
That sounds actually really nice. Just knock it all out in the morning, like be
Yeah,
hyper
man.
focused. And then you don't feel like, oh, like this work never ends.
Yeah. Now I'll show you something else I take around lunchtime. This stuff you can get in addition to Quality of Mind. So they have like a bundle. Qualia is like it's a great company. The company is actually called Neurohacker Collective.
Mm,
Neurohacker Collective, if you want to put that like in the notes. But so Quality of Life, what this stuff does is it's actually something that will help your telomeres not to shorten as much. So telomeres are in your DNA,
okay.
and this actually is a huge anti-aging supplement. It
Mm,
upregulates something called NAD plus in the body, which NAD plus, if it's like if you have a lot of it in your system, it will help your telomeres, your literal DNA, to not shrink. So like
wow.
you take this with food. It's got, and again, it's a lot of vitamins, but it's got some things that upregulate your NAD in your body. So like you could basically the claim is if you start taking this while you're younger, you're like a vampire. And like those movies where they just they need blood and they don't age. Like it's
Is this,
but
has
so
there
but so
been?
but so you know what, if so my whole thing is, and it gives you more energy too. Like I noticed I've
Yeah.
got more energy throughout the day.
Mm,
So you know what, like, hey man, I'm a big believer in this stuff. I've done the research.
yeah.
If I can just invest a little bit more money into my health to where I like can function as an entrepreneur like longer
Hmm.
and still be like very youthful while I do it, like I'm going to bite the bullet and just pay a little bit more money for that. Like, cause,
Yeah,
and the thing about being an entrepreneur that you've probably realized too, is like, the more output that you have, like the more money you can make. So like,
that's true.
I view this as an investment. Like, okay,
Yeah,
well, if I'm younger for longer, then that means that like basically I can just do better work and like work longer. So
yeah.
a little bit of money for that, no problem.
Was Qualia Life also a recommendation from Ben Greenfield?
So the company came out with this. So like he actually, I don't know if Ben takes it. He doesn't like say that he does. But there's other podcasters like Dave Asprey and like other entrepreneurs that take this. This is just an NAD upregulator. So if you ever look up NAD plus,
Yeah.
if your listeners look up NAD plus, then that's something that when it's upregulating the human body will stave off aging because it works in your telomeres. It's
Fascinating.
pretty fascinating stuff. Yeah. All right, now we're gonna get into some science fiction voodoo crap. So after that, what I usually do is for 20 minutes, I take something called a new calm power nap for 20 minutes. So
Hmm.
this gets really science fiction. So this thing is literally a blue sticker, if you can see that,
Yeah.
and I put it right here on my wrist like this. This is some Iron Man crap.
Yeah.
Okay. So what this does is it actually sends your central nervous system. By the way, there's little nerves all in here,
Right.
and so like this is actually a code to your nervous system. It replicates GABA and other like neurotransmitters. It doesn't put anything into your body, but it sends a signal to your nervous system to kind of like relax and calm down. So I do this and then I take a 20-minute power nap. But there's also with this company called New Calm. You wear headphones. They're so binaural beats with an eye mask with the patch, and in about 20 minutes, your body actually goes into like a dream state.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually called theta, the frequency in your brain. It puts your brain into a state of theta, which is a healing zone.
Mm.
So within about 20 minutes, you can do 40 minutes if you want to. You can do longer, but usually about the 20-minute mark, I feel pretty rejuvenated, and my lunch is more processed at that point, and then I start to go on with the rest of my day. But I'm sure, yeah. How does that sound?
Yeah, I'm curious. Can you show that sticker again? Is it
Yeah. So
reusable? Do you have
it's
like
really
40 of these?
yeah. So you subscribe to the company New Calm,
Okay.
and then you get this app. I can show you the app real quick. It's just on your phone basically, and it's got like these different tracks that you listen to. But I'll just kind of show you what the app looks like a little bit
Yeah.
here. So you've got different modes to go into. Like my favorite is just like the recharge mode.
Yeah.
And
What's
then
what's the rescue mode? I saw that.
rescues like if you were like out really late and your body needs like more rest. So all this is just for rest, by the way.
Yeah.
Like within about 20 minutes, they claim it's like an hour and a half of like actual sleep.
How though? What technology?
Well,
What's in the sticker?
so you gotta understand how these things work. So like it's replicating, so the sticker is replicating to your brain and nervous system GABA and other like relaxing
But what's in
neurotransmitters.
I guess what is in the
Yeah.
sticker? That's what I'm trying to
There's
understand.
nothing actually in the sticker. It's got a little like program. It's electric, and it kind of like
Huh.
sends into your veins, into these receptors. Like it's all attached to your nervous system.
Fascinating.
Although like you can look it up, but like so you have something called your sympathetic and your parasympathetic
Yeah.
nervous system. So coffee, when you drink coffee, it's working on your sympathetic nervous system to make you just like have energy.
Mm.
And so when your sympathetic nervous system is engaged, you can't rest. You're in fight or flight.
Okay.
Now this thing puts your body into parasympathetic mode, which is where you're resting and your body's like detoxifying. Interestingly, when you're doing this, you're breathing like it's like called like diaphragmatic breathing or something like that. But like I will take literally like in a minute, Luke, like 5 or 6 breaths, and that's it, like in an entire minute.
Mm.
And just these really deep, like really rejuvenating breaths.
Mm. And then
But
as
it's
you're
cool.
putting on
It's
the
like,
headphones,
What's that?
What's coming through the headphones as
So
you're
it's like this peaceful music with like harps and like different like really
okay.
like soft.
I could get into that. Yes.
It's really nice, dude. It's like it's such a relaxing thing.
Mm,
So I'm probably gonna do this like after this. I'm gonna have some food and then do one of these.
yeah.
I'm gonna work and then I could get into the rest of my day. But like I'm gonna work out after that. But like I'll get into that. But like this stuff, it's you got to do a subscription method. But like if you're an entrepreneur and you struggle with rest and like kind of like getting that second wind, like the second part of the day, it's a game changer. I mean, most people what they do is they'll have like a Red Bull or like a second cup of
Mm,
coffee.
yeah.
And although you will get some energy, the problem with that is your brain will just go into like an extra like manic mode or like you're too fast.
Yeah.
And then like you crash and you just feel like crap later in the day.
Mm,
So I actually don't have any more caffeine after about noon.
yeah.
I actually just take a nap, like a little 20-minute power nap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another type of like quick nap that I've that I've seen because I've been starting to do
Yeah.
anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes
Good. It's good.
based upon I was about to say Alex. What's his name? Something rather Huberman, something rather Huberman. What's his name?
Oh, I know. Oh, Alex, his name is Alex Huberman. Yeah.
Is it
He's
Alex?
on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe that's where I got the
Yeah.
Alex from.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, no, he was like, hey, like every single day, if you can get anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes of
Yeah.
just resting. You don't need to
Yeah.
sleep, you don't need to fall asleep, just
Right.
be quiet,
Just be
shut all the
quiet, be
music off,
still.
dark room
Yes.
if you can.
Yes.
And then Jocko Willing, he goes actually another way. I do
Oh,
it for 8 minutes. He's like,
Jocko does it too. I didn't know. Oh,
yeah,
he does
he
it for
except
eight.
he goes, I
Yeah,
just lay on
of
my
course.
back, feet up on a couch,
Yeah.
right? So like your calves are up on a couch. And what
Yeah.
that does is it actually relieves a lot of pressure off your lower back because now it's
Oh,
flat.
okay. Okay.
And then it allows you to just like rest because when your body's still tensed up, right? It's harder
Yeah.
to relax. And so that
Right.
actually helps to like, and he just does it for 8 minutes. Now
That's
he's a different
amazing.
animal.
Yeah.
He's absolutely
Jocko's just like work for like 20 hours a day and sleep for like 3 hours and like yeah.
he definitely is on the hyper efficient.
He's like the Gary V kind of like a
Yeah, he's like if
military.
Gary Vee went to the
He's like
military.
more military. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So there's one other thing that I use too. This is another piece of like Iron Man technology, but it's like it's called the Apollo Neuro.
Okay.
I wear this like by my, it actually goes like either like right here, you can wear it like as a almost like as like an app, like it looks like kind of like a watch, but I put on my ankle, like an ankle bracelet. And this thing actually will pulse and it does different frequencies that helps your nervous system to be in either like a fight or flight kind of mode, like you're sympathetic or you're parasympathetic. And it actually is like it feels like a cat's like purring like on you or something. And it can be like very relaxing. So I usually just use this for relaxing.
And what's the name of that?
This is pretty cheap. You can get this. It's like, I mean, relatively so. It's like $250 to $300, but it's called the Apollo Neuro.
Okay.
And it works with an app on your phone too, to be like, you can set it to be like for an energy state or like a relaxed state.
And so do you wear this when you're sleeping or throughout the day?
Throughout the day, like there's different
Okay.
modes that I can set it to. Like if there's like a clear and focused mode, there's a social and open mode, there's a rest mode, there's an energy mode, like it'll kind of like pulse fast. So like, touch, the human touch is like very obviously, like if somebody gives you a hug, like it releases different chemicals. So this actually replicates what human touch does.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's the main mechanism and how it's called the Apollo Neuro. It's how that works.
Fascinating.
Yeah. And so like I'm all, it's just I get such just I know this is a lot that I do, but once you start to get into biohacking, it's like it's like fun. It's like a whole world of different gadgets. So so those are like the two like nervous system gadgets that I use. And where are we in my routine? We're probably like right after lunch now where I do the nap. So
yeah.
So after that I do my like second workout. Usually it's like it's either
second workout. Oh, is that, oh,
So I did the one in the morning.
that's
Like,
right. Okay. Okay.
yeah, yeah. It's just a little like that's not really a workout, but like I'll actually you're like that's not a workout.
No,
Like
no, that
little
is a
cardio
workout.
run,
I
like
don't want
that's
to,
not
no, 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 no. A
it's
mile
not
run is a workout.
it's not really it's not but it's just like a little mile run or so, nothing much. But I'll either do like another run in St. I live by St. Charles, so I'll like run along the Fox River,
Nice.
and then I'll do like an ab workout. So I do that 3 days a week, and then on the other 3 days I do just upper body stuff at the gym.
Nice.
And
So
one
no
day,
leg day. So no leg day.
well, leg day, I actually not so much. Sometimes when I do, I'll substitute an upper body day. I'll do like some like different leg machines
Yeah.
and some like pistol squats. But like I do so much running to where I'm like,
Mm,
like I don't need like big honking calves. Like
yeah.
I'm good with being more slim down there. That's okay.
Yeah.
But then I do like yeah, like today is gonna be bicep, tricep, and shoulder. I did my chest and like back day on Monday. So I kind of do like every other day. It's either cardio or that. So what I'm trying to say is like after my usually after my power nap, I'll just go straight into a workout and get that done.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So then after that, what are you doing? Are
Yeah.
you going back to work? Are you, depending on how you're feeling, are you reading? What are you doing?
Yeah. Usually after that, I'll check emails again. I might do a little more like editing depending on just like where I'm at. Like I can if I
Yeah.
want to, but it's the kind of, do you remember like in home, like, okay, so you were homeschooled, right?
Yeah.
And so it's the kind of the nice thing about homeschooling is you can just like get everything done in the morning, like you're
Yep.
done with school early. So as like a entrepreneur, I try to just get things done, but like I might do some other things. And then yeah, I'm trying to think of other supplements. Oh, I take uh at some point during the day, I'll take something called Tungat Ali.
Hmm.
For men, this is really potent for testosterone. And obviously testosterone just helps with drive, with like self-esteem, with just staying on task,
Yeah.
with a lot. So I'll take that, but I'm trying to think if there's anything else
Are
that
there
I
any
do.
other machines or things that you're using
Yeah.
on a
Okay.
any other suits that you're wearing?
Okay, um, in my family, on my dad's side, like there's hair loss, and
Yeah.
he actually, he used to have like a nice head of hair, but he doesn't have much hair, and he's about 50 years old.
Hmm.
And so like I was curious about it. I was like, well, how does this work? Like, what's the mechanism that causes hair loss? Like, why is it that men go bald and women don't go bald? Like, how does that work? So I'll get into the science and I'll get into like what I do to like basically stop and like even reverse hair loss entirely.
Yeah.
And it works. Um, so basically what happens in the male body is you have something called dehydrotestosterone. Dehydrotestosterone. So basically you've got two forms of T. You've got free T, which is just like natural testosterone. That's the stuff that I like augment. But then you've got dehydrotestosterone, which really in the male body, it doesn't serve much purpose after puberty. So after puberty,
Mm.
it develops you into a man, like your beard, your deeper voice. It's developed in the testicles, but like it's something that your body once you're a man, like there's really not a need for it. And then
Right.
it can have deleterious effects. So, and one of those effects is it binds to receptors in your scalp. And the weird part is like if you have too much of this, it can actually it can cause your hair to shrink.
Mm.
It binds to those receptors, right? So the trick to mitigate hair loss is to just take some of that DHT and take down the levels a little bit. So DHT, by the way, is the nickname for dehydrotestosterone. So DHT is, you just call it DHT. So to do that, I just take, there's a company called Hims for men. And I just take one of these 3 days a week. So I don't take it all 7 days because I feel like that's too much.
Yeah.
And I looked into the science, and even just taking a milligram like 3 days a week is enough for the inside of your body to counteract it.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing that's happening is inside the body. It's an inward process that's causing them to shrink. And then you can also get topical finasteride and minoxidil. So this is by a company called I think it's also Hims, yeah. But it's just like a little serum that you just spray, like hairspray.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, and it kind of has like a greasy hairspray feel. And you just do that like once a day. That's it. And so that's actually going to work like inside of the scalp, because you can actually get inside the hair a little bit and cause those hairs to like not only stop but to like expand
Mm.
and to stop shrinking. And the last thing I bought, there's actually a Christian YouTuber. He's really cool. His name is the DLM Christian podcaster, but he's actually a YouTuber as well. And he's a model too. So he models and he does like a Christian YouTube channel. So the DLM, Daniel's his name. And he recommended this thing. It's pretty crazy.
Mm.
This is called the Eye Restore helmet. And
Ah.
basically you can just wear this thing for like a little bit, like it looks pretty stupid, like I'm like a cyborg, but
No, it looks cool.
it basically it uses like the same technology as my red lights, but it kind of focuses them on just on the hair, and it's going to help to like thicken up your hair through like the light energy. I'm not really sure how it works, but like essentially like, you know, you buy the device and you just do it like 3 days a week, and it's only 20 minutes and you can like literally wear it around the house.
Huh. And does the cord attach to a
just
device?
a battery. It's just
Okay.
a battery, little battery pack. Like I can show you that. So it just attaches to this thing.
Oh, it's real small. Okay.
So you just charge this and like you can walk around, you can do emailing. I don't even think about it. I just kind of pop it on like here and there and like,
Yeah.
but the thing is like, so it's vain to like care about, you know, how you look, but hair is a part of your body. And like, you know, like so much of my work is like meeting people and like kind of looking the part for wedding videography. And so like, you know, to have a good head of hair, like
Yeah.
just something that you can, and I literally probably spend like $25 a month, like for all this stuff. And like,
Wow.
and like to have a full head of hair for $20 a month, like, I mean, that's not that bad.
Yeah. So you're doing this more as preventative because just looking at genetic wise.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there was actually a period. There's actually a period like because it's interesting how this stuff works for men. But usually when a guy like gets into his late 20s or like early 30s, like there's some kind of hair thinning that takes place. And it was ever so slight, like a couple of years ago, but I did notice it was like progressively getting thinner and weaker. And like my stylist would be like, "Oh, your hair like doesn't look the same." And then I was like, "Oh shoot, you're right. Like I can see like my scalp." But it's kind of neat. I don't know if I have any like clear pictures of it, but like it not only stopped it, but then it like thickened it up to where it's like back to where it was, you know, in my early 20s. So it's pretty neat. So this stuff, like it sounds like weird, but it works.
Do you do anything special before you go to bed to help you calm down, or do you wear anything during the nights? Do you wear that sticker during the night, or
no? So the sticker's just for like the meditative rest. There's the company Neurohacker has another thing called Quality of Night that I take. It just has like different like herbs and things to kind of wind down, but it's nothing too potent. Honestly, the best thing for sleep is getting up at a consistent time every day. So I get up at 6. My alarm just goes off, and then you know, because I'm pretty active, like my body just produces enough melatonin around like 10 o'clock. I just get really tired now, and I just wind down naturally. And then I'm taking a little bit of something like that Benadryl thing for sleep, but I might actually wean off of that pretty soon, depending on how things go, because I don't really think that being on anything that your brain like requires for sleep is a good idea.
Oh, is that the powder that like knocks you out?
No, that powder I've stopped taking, actually.
Okay.
I know in another podcast I mentioned that, but like, no, that stuff is called phenybutyric acid, and like that stuff is kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
And I actually had a week where I wasn't sleeping like at all because I built up a tolerance for it. And that's why I'm saying like you got to be careful with sleep aids, because like I actually went like a couple periods where I was like I was averaging like, I'm sorry, I went for like a week or two where I was averaging like 3 or 4 hours of sleep because of the sleep aid.
Wow.
And then I had to find something else, which was pretty scary, actually. So like that's the thing about like Ambien. It's a drug that people take for sleep. Your brain will literally get so addicted to it to where like if you go even a day without it, or you miss, or let's say you go on vacation and like you forget your Ambien, like you are screwed. You will not sleep. So that's why I try to stay away from any kind of like really sedative sleep medication outside of just this little Benadryl thing that I'm taking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man, I think you made that clarification early on, and that's super important of unless you are eating healthy, unless you are
Yeah.
going to bed at a good time, like
Right.
these things are just tools. The
They're,
core
they're
of it
tools.
is
Right. Yeah.
getting, the foundation, right? It's
Yes.
is
Yes.
sleep. You have sleep,
Yeah.
then you have diet, and then you
Yeah.
have
I would say sleep and then that meditation and grounding yourself in God's word. And like, that's key. And then
yeah.
everything else is just an add-on. Like they're just
Mm,
accessories to be a little bit better, a little sharper,
yeah.
and and more relaxed. Cause it's such a juggling act between, hey, you got to be super like dialed in and like Gary V, like
Right.
on it. And then you got to be a little bit more like trying to think of somebody who's more chill, like Bono, or somebody who's just like I don't know, Bono, like a musician, or like
Yeah.
who do you think of who's more just like laid back? Like I think of
Uh,
like I really like Brad Pitt as an actor, but he's like super laid back.
yeah.
But somebody, I don't know, you got to have like, he's actually a good example of somebody who can be like on point and then like relax. But like
Mm,
I like that where you can be like chill too. So like finding ways to do that naturally and holistically versus like turning to like substances like drugs or alcohol.
yeah.
Alcohol, I'm trying to take a step back from myself and like really not use it like that much at all, if not,
Yeah.
time, because that can interfere with sleep, that can interfere with
Yes.
diet.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's something that I've tried to like take a step back from in the
Yeah.
past couple months, and like really like maybe just do it socially, like, but also like maybe not even,
Hmm.
because um there's just so much, and it's expensive too, it adds up. So
Yeah. No,
yeah.
even with a little bit of alcohol that I have had at like family gatherings where it's like a sip or two, it's like it
Yeah.
doesn't even taste good. I understand you can build up a
Oh,
tolerance, the burning
yeah, yeah.
sensation, like I enjoy
No,
that. But
it's
other than that, bro,
yeah,
I don't know. Some people would be like,
it's
"Oh, well,
interesting.
your
Yeah.
taste buds haven't adjusted yet."
Yeah.
It's like, I don't
So
know,
so
man.
it's definitely, so I went through a phase where I was drinking a little bit too much for a period. Like I would every night I'd have like a couple like shots of tequila or something.
Yeah.
And like interestingly, the science, so here's something that's kind of cool. There's places called blue zones on the planet. So blue zone is where you have the most centenarians, meaning the most people over 100 years old.
Hmm.
So it's like people where the lifespan is like very, very long and they're very
Yeah.
healthy. And there's little pockets called blue zones or subcultures of people across the planet. And the research shows that they actually drink. They have like wine moderately over the course of their life, but it's a healthy kind of alcohol and it's all in
Yeah.
moderation. Now, the problem with alcohol though is like you can easily abuse it and have too
Mm,
much. And the quality has to be a good kind of alcohol.
right.
So having like a beer, like just like a Miller Lite,
Yeah.
so many calories, it's toxic. Now, if you have like a good quality wine or a good quality tequila, like The Rock, actually, Dwayne Johnson makes a tequila that's really good,
Mm,
called Terramana. It's exceptional. That in moderation is actually like not bad for you at all. And actually, there's research that shows it does help your nervous system to wind down. So like, I'm not against it. I'm just as a self experimenter, like trying to like,
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna like take a step back. But I think that alcohol in moderation, it's biblical too. First miracle at Cana. And I don't think that it's inherently bad.
It's definitely
Yeah.
not a sin to
Yeah.
drink alcohol, and we have liberty to do so. But yeah,
Right.
it's in moderation. We should
It's like
never
a
go to the
dessert.
point of
It's
where we're
yeah,
not
yeah,
uh of where
right.
we've lost it and we're now not
I
sober
I
minded.
look at it like cake or like donuts. It's like
Yeah.
you eat too much. It's easy to have too much cake. It's easy to have too much donuts. So it's like if you eat that every day, like it's probably not good for you.
Yeah.
But it might have like there's that quality of life thing though, where it's like, hey, this is kind of nice
Hmm.
to have. So like I'm not against dessert. I'm not against alcohol, but like for me personally, I try to stay away from even
Yeah.
dessert and alcohol, because like it's
Yeah.
just so but that's me, and that's something that I tell entrepreneurs too, is like, and I've looked at a lot of different entrepreneurs, and they either like are very moderate with their alcohol, might have like one glass of wine,
Hmm.
or just avoid it like altogether.
Yeah. Where do you see the future of biohacking going?
Yeah, I think there's going to be better and better technology. I think in the next like 10 years, we're going to be able to sleep on demand with some kind of a wearable device, like a headband.
Mm,
I mean, it's hands
just
down.
knock you right out. Just
Well, not knock you out like Ambien, but it's gonna like, so there's delta frequencies that they're finding. So delta is when your brain is sleeping, but if you like get a headband that can like replicate a delta
Mm,
frequency, like so something that kind of goes over. Maybe there's music too in your earbuds, like inside the headband. There's technology like that coming out for sleep. I think that cancer, we're gonna find a lot of breakthroughs with like biohacking for cancer, like through like holistic approaches, anti-aging. Like people are gonna live to be, in my opinion, people are going to be like 120 years old, like in our lifetime, and like that's gonna be like more commonplace. If you look into the research and the data, like our predicted life span, Luke, is going to be like 100 years plus, just based on where. But if you're playing your cards right, I
mm,
mean,
yeah.
with all these different technologies, um, of course, like it's not foolproof. We're not God. We can't um
Yeah.
how long we can't, but if you are like being healthy, I think that all these biohacking technologies are going to just extend life and help us to be more joyful. So I'm really optimistic and excited.
Nick Acosta, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
If people want to find you, follow
Yeah.
you, where should we send them?
Yeah. Send them to either my website or my Instagram is just Acosta underscore cinema. You can just reach out to me on there, or just inquire on my website for like any kind of videography. But I'm also down to just like, if I have the time to just like meet up
Yeah.
for coffee, or get to know anybody that's curious about entrepreneurship or just wants to talk. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Awesome,
man.
man. Well, it's a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, Luke, thanks for having me again. Round two. This is great.